change rocks. It's good. We like it. If you don't start by growing your team, you will not be able to grow your business. So we're in the advertising, in the communication business, advertising, media. You don't climb the mountain for the world to see you. You climb a mountain for you to see the world. You have to have crisis because that's where you grow the most, right?
Welcome to Business Minds. Today we are delighted to welcome Alain Desormiers, founder of Touché Media and current CEO of Omnicom Media Group Montreal. Is this correct?
It is.
Alain, thank you very much for being with us today. So to start, I would like to ask you to have a brief presentation of your role. What does it consist in exactly? And what are your responsibilities?
Currently?
Yes.
So, I've been retired last fall, right? So I'm coming back for a couple of months now as the Chief Executive Officer of Omnicom Media Group here in Montreal. So my role is really very simply to make sure that we're heading in the right direction, that our ambitions are big enough to be bold and to be successful, to manage the environment, to identify business risks. In fact, there are a lot of dimensions around that, but the most important one, I would say, is leading my leadership team, which is a group of 15 people. So they are the one leading the charge and doing the work. So that's, I guess, is the most important part of what I'm doing.
Excellent. We will dig a little bit more into that later. So for the first segment, we will focus more on your early years. And my first question is very simple. Where did you grow up? And what kind of job were you dreaming to do when you were a kid?
I grew up in Montreal. I've been in Montreal for 60 years because I'm 60 right now. So I've been here all the time. So I grew up here, and my how you said that? What I wanted to do?
What kind of job were you dreaming to do when you were a kid?
Right. So depends on what age, I guess. But what I remember is I really liked the idea of becoming an architect. And simply because I like that role of being at the crossroad of art and science, I could say, because I really like that idea of being into design, but at the same time being able to build some big towers. So that when I was maybe 10, 12, 15.
Okay. Not too far from what you've done later, but we will get to that later as well. Do you remember what kind of character were you when you were a kid? Like,
yeah, again, I guess it depends what age. There's something that happened. I used to be a pretty timid or shy little boy up to a certain moment where I don't know, I guess I exploded. That is a little bit more around 15 or 16. That my way of looking at things and being able to entertain big discussions, and so that really is really in one single year there has been a big shift, and that's when I got to Cégep, or what we can call pre-university, pre-college. So yeah, that's a bit odd, I think, because there has been a lot of change.
So did something happen, or was it like a lot of changes?
No, I guess just something in my body that suddenly decided to get there. But at the same time, I guess when you get 15, 16, 17, maybe there is something in the air that give you the idea to be a little bit bolder and be more present. So
excellent. Did you at the time know you already had this leadership fiber in you, and how did it manifest at the time?
Well, before 15, 16, not at all. That what I just told you, there's a very strong manifestation of that kind of leadership. Is I started to become involved in student association, heavily, like not just a bit, but I was in the executive committee. I was the one rallying people around projects and ideas. And so that started at that age, 17 around. And still, when I got to university, again, same pattern, heavily involved in many projects at HEC.
Excellent transition. My next question was, what studies did you pursue? Where did you have this time to involve yourself? Yeah.
HEC Montreal, yeah.
Can you, for our audience, can you tell us a little bit what HEC is about? We know because we were there, but like HEC is like a business school. Can you?
Yeah, so it's University of Montreal Business School, a very well known and very good reputation. So I decided to just get there because of the reputation. To tell you the truth, I wasn't sure exactly where. I knew at that time I didn't want to be an architect, but what did I really want to be was clearly uncertain. So that's why I opted for business school. And in my mind, my first idea was I think I want to be involved in marketing, and I think I want to be involved in finance. Two very different areas of business, but I guess I like duality, or I like things that can be different, and I felt that there was something there that was a little bit more like me in terms of simply interests. So yeah.
Perfect. And who were your inspiration figures at the time? Did you have any role models when you were younger?
I not really. I think I did have a couple of key role model, but more when I really started to work and get involved in business and to grow up in business. I think we all need to look up at people, to see how people are behaving, how they are leading, how they are evolving in their own world, how different some people can be in terms of leading teams or leading businesses. So yeah, two key models. The first one is simply my first job. I started out of nowhere, pure fluke. Started in a media agency right after university. This agency now is known as Karat. So it's a huge company, but was very small at the time in Montreal. So I started there. So one model was the owner, the one who hired me, who really transmitted me the passion for media, because I didn't know a bit about what is media all about, the business of media, I mean. So that person was key to the rest of my career. And another one also was key. So 3-4 years after, I changed a job, and that time it was all about entrepreneurship. That leader, a pretty prominent leader in Montreal and Quebec, give me the shot of what's all about entrepreneurship, what's cool about it, and I think that really started to give me some ideas that I think I want to lead something on my own and to build something and to grow something. So those two models were very important to me.
Okay, and at the time, did you envision yourself to become what you have become today, everything you've accomplished, building one of the most successful media agencies in the country?
No. So, well, at that time, before launching Touché in 1995, I simply went from one challenge to the other, one different experience to the other, just to see what I really like or what I wanted to be. But when I launched Touché, it was totally not to be about what it is today. It was just, I want to have fun. I want to lead my own destiny. I think I can achieve it. I think I can do it. but never to the extent of what it has become today. Yeah.
Excellent. And so you said your first job was the media position with Cara. When was the first time you had the chance to experience a position of leadership in your career?
Yeah. Well, at Karat we were only 6, so when you're 6, you get to be leaders at some point, even if I was pretty young. But I would say the next job 3 years after was I was working in a media outlet or a TV station, which you may not know. It used to be called Musique Plus Much Music, so the MTV of Canada, specialized TV channel. So I got there to be in sales. And after a year, I became a sales manager. So I had to lead a small team of sales rep to build the station revenue and to build growth and to make sure it's sustainable. So that I would say that, and I was like 27, I think. So it was, I guess, pretty early. But yeah, I liked it.
And how did you feel about it, holding this first leadership position? Did you feel you were considered differently?
Not really. I guess it depends on how you see leadership. So I didn't figure that I was the boss. I just figured that I had a responsibility to get to some results, right? To get to some goals. So to rally the people around me. So that's how I just saw what was leadership about. So I don't think I feel that people were different because we were all together.
Okay. And so this was the first time. What would you say changed each time you progressed to a new leadership role in your career? I mean, in your case, it was since Touché, it was only the same position that grew over time.
So very rapidly, and I alluded to that earlier. So what happened is that I rapidly started to try to see how I could fit as an entrepreneur or as a leader with stake at the business. I mean ownership. So I had a couple of experiences joining media agencies to become a partner.
Okay.
And those were great experiences, but didn't work. And probably that's how it evolved, with not only the idea of being some kind of leader, but how can it be at the same time entrepreneur. And because those opportunities didn't exactly went as I wanted, I told myself, well, maybe I'm now big enough just to try to be on myself, to launch my own little thing, and that's how Touché was born, from that desire to lead a business in that category, in that business of advertising.
Perfect. And maybe it's a good time to tell us a bit about the story of Touché. Can you walk us through the important steps?
Well, how much time do we have? So high level, after the launch in 95, nice little story, because I had some kind of reputation or recognition in the market already. It was not easy, but it was better than I thought to be able to get to clients and sell our services and get clients coming along with us.
Yeah. Maybe it's a good moment also to remind what's a media agency and what it does.
Yes. Well, so we're in the advertising, in the communication business, advertising, media. So media is the art of connecting brands with consumers. So which channels should we use to do that? So digital media, television, radio, whatever. So what's the right strategy to get those things happening, that the consumers will get to know your brands and what you mean in the market? So it's all about strategizing and then activating campaigns. So buying media and get the campaigns on air and everything.
Perfect.
So where was I?
Sorry.
So the
You can
story
go
of
back to
Touché. I'll go rather quickly. So for 5, 6, 7, 9 years, we grew up steadily, but still a very small regional shop in Montreal, from zero or from one to, let's say, 30 staff in 2004. So, I mean, having some interesting kind of success with our clients. And something happened right there in 2004, where suddenly, out of nowhere, four different holding companies, global holding companies, knocked at our door to see if we would be interested to join, or just simply said, to be acquired by those holdco, to become their Montreal office, right? Because it was at the time a moment where all agencies were getting consolidated. I mean, media entities were consolidating themselves, and media agencies or ad agencies were also all consolidated at the same time. So it was normal for them to knock at our door, but I was rather young, and I would like say, doesn't make sense at this time, at least. And we changed our mind because we saw quite rapidly that it was a pretty good idea to be part of something bigger, with more tools, with more knowledge, with a bigger buying power. At that time, it was even so much more important to be able to show our muscle and to show our clout in terms of media buying.
So it was not that much of a difficult decision to make in the end?
It wasn't. Well, it was more difficult to see which one of the holdco, and that it didn't take that much time because there has been some magic happening with the CFO and CEO of Omnicom in Toronto that we met, and that we clearly saw that there was. I could envision where that could lead us, because when you sell yourself, when you sell your company, which is at the same time a bit tough. Like you don't build a company to sell it after 9 years. But I saw that little thing could grow so much bigger, and we could help our clients so much more, and most importantly, we could make our people grow. And that was, I think, the sparkle who really brought us to make the deal. And that was a very good decision, because we're almost 20 years after. So Touché went from that very small regional shop in Montreal to Omnicom Media Group so we're bringing together all the brands from Omnicom Media Group under the same roof, plus opening Touché in Toronto and serving national clients from our two offices, with a total of 372 staff. So the story is quite compelling, I feel, and what we've been able to accomplish in terms of growth. Continuous growth year after year, was just the proof that the combination of the big holdco and our entrepreneur, that's a word I have trouble to say, entrepreneurial blood.
Perfect.
Still very startup minded. I think that combination made again some magic.
Beautiful. And after all this time, last year, you decided to retire. How did that go? Was it a difficult decision to make again?
No. I guess it depends on each individual, how they look at their path and their career. And I just felt it's not a matter of age. It's a matter of after 27 years of Touché, 20 years within Omnicom, with all the incredible experiences I had, which made me grow a lot, I thought that that was time to close that book and to potentially open other books. Although that was not my goal, I just wanted to retire and see what's next, but without clear objectives, which may sound a bit weird, but I did want to rest a bit and to take care of my family and to take care of myself also. So it was I would say an easy decision. Although I'll tell you one thing that people should always look for, if you want my 2 cents, is I went to I asked for counseling, so I asked for coaching, because moving from where I was to retirement is a huge change in life. I mean, as you can imagine, and too many people are just doing it, and it will be what it will be. So I think even for those big changes in life, you need preparation. You need to be you need to be clear about why you're doing it and how you should do it. So honestly, someone suggested me to do that. I said, I'm not sure if I need that, but yes, it's important, and I think it's one lesson I got from I guess most of my career is to ask advice, to ask for people. You need to be well surrounded, because you learn so much from other people. You learn from experts in various fields. So that I think is pretty has been very important to me.
Very interesting. This is actually what we're doing right now with you, so thanks again.
Yeah.
Looking back at your entire career, what are you most proud of in your career as of this day?
It has to be the fact that I was courageous enough to start a business and to be bold enough to accept a transaction, to bring it elsewhere, and to stay. And maybe that's unusual. Like the guy who sold his agency stays for not 2, not 3, but for 20 years, because the challenges were coming in every week, every month, and made me grow. So is it pride or just I feel lucky and very satisfied of what happened after that decision of launching Touché. So yeah, and I mean, if you start me on pride, it will never finish. But if I can add one key element,
Of course.
I said it a few minutes ago, I guess, that idea of you can build success only if you make people grow, to me has been a catalyst, because you can grow your business, but if you don't start by growing your team, you will not be able to grow your business. It sounds obvious to me when I say it, and maybe for everyone, but it's not that easy. And so it's all about the leadership team that we've been able to put together early on, and I've been able to I mean, yeah, bring them up and bringing them new experiences and new knowledge, and leadership team, but also the entire team. I mean, that's all coming together. So that's a big part of the pride, I guess.
That's a great learning. Now looking at the darker side of the coin, over all these years, what was the biggest crisis you ever had to face, and how did you manage to come through it?
Crisis.
Mm-hmm. If you ever had any.
Oh, sure. Sure. You have to have crisis, because that's where you grow the most, right? I don't want to say that, but I will have to say it, because it seems obvious. Pandemic. I mean, for a leader, it's simply huge. How you deal with your staff, with your client, with everything. with the business when everything stops, with all the clients, not all, but a large portion of clients just cut their advertising budget. So all the impact on your own revenue and the teams and everything. That has been a crisis, and that has not been just a 1 month thing, but a rather long period of time. I would say so that's the portion of my professional life that I work the most. And I'm not talking just in terms of hours per week, but in terms of gray hair, I guess. But at the same time, the very good news out of this crisis or challenge is where we are now after the crisis, that we were able to come back with the same trend of growth that we used to have prior COVID. And that to me is the most, so yes, a difficult moment, but the joy that comes after when you're back on the mountain and looking at what just happened.
Excellent response. Looking back, not just at this event, but again, your entire career, is there anything you think you would have done differently looking back?
I hate that question. I hate that question because it should come to mind. What if I would start over? How differently I would do it? You know what? We'll cut it short. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't think I would have changed. I mean, small stuff, but fundamental stuff, no.
Okay, very fair answer. So moving on to the next one. What are the most important skills you have acquired in your life/career?
Skills. So what comes to mind? I will not get into technical skills of how to build this media strategy. That's not the point, I guess. But when it comes to leadership, clearly, I think I was able to build some strength over how to lead, how to bring people together, and I think, can we call this a skill? But when it comes to leadership style, I think what I liked about how to lead is to just simply rally people around
it is a
idea and rally people around how to get from one point to the other, versus just be very prescriptive about, guys, we're going there. I know that people can be very different when it comes to leadership, but I've developed, I think, a certain talent for bringing people together and use that energy and that force to move the business forward. Yeah, some other skills, I don't know.
It was one of the most important skills, so this is 100% valid. Last question of this segment. You made your entire career in the same industry, an industry that is known to be very fast-paced changing. How were you able to always adapt to these fast changes all over these 27 years?
Interesting question. I would tell you that the first 10 years changes, yes, but the magnitude and the pace of changes was I mean, manageable. Okay. But after that, it suddenly started to be like a bit crazy. And very rapidly, we knew that we needed to embrace change so much because change was about to become our normality. I mean, always change. In media, everything changes all the time. So if you're simply adapting to this, okay, I'm mastering this now, I'm good. Well, sorry, it's already changed. We're going there. So how we were able to cope with change is simply to be happy with them coming, to be coming one after the other, and to be comfortable with the discomfort that comes with it. But the realization at the same time that everybody is uncomfortable because it's changing so much, and most importantly, the clients. So you're there to know more than everyone else, of course, in the specific field, to master it in a better way, and to bring some lights within those changes. So I would say that is how we were able to go through. In fact, it's one of our. We have a set of six values, and one of them is, the title is Change Rocks. It's good. We like it. And that's the whole attitude. So when someone wants to work here and want his life to be stable, maybe we're not the right environment, because it changes all the time.
Mm-hmm. Excellent response. Now we'll move to the third and last segment of this interview regarding your reflection and your vision of leadership. My first question is, in your opinion, what makes a great leader, and what does it take to become one?
I'll summarize with one keyword, and it's empathy. To be able to put yourself in everyone else's shoes, to be able to understand what they have in mind, and at the same time listen. And I asked this thing that I don't remember who told me that one day, but he was looking at me and just saying, Alain, you have 2 ears, one mouth. You need to listen twice as much as you speak. So the notion of empathy is a bit about that. Instead of always like getting over and telling people what you think and what's important to you, I think you better lead when you, and I've said that earlier, you're a better leader when you bring people with you. And I think empathy is a great asset when you can do that. I think it's the empathy team is bigger since COVID because we were going through so much change and so much challenges, but it remains a key to good leadership, I believe.
Yeah, indeed. Have you ever had a mentor? And if so, what did they teach you?
You were talking about models. To me, a model and a mentor is not exactly the same thing, but in my case, the two leaders that had so much influence, I believe, were mentor at the same time. So transmitting the passion for media, for the craft of media, for the discipline, and then the business mentor, or how to look at bringing a business from point A to point B, how to lead within a company and lead talent and lead people. So those two big leaders were really mentors. They were not called mentors. They were I was not calling them, hey, mentor, come here, I need you. But what the effect they had on me was the same.
And so, with whatever they have been teaching you over time, how did it shape your leadership style, and what is now your leadership style?
You know what? It has not changed that much. The idea of rallying people around. Well, one of the things that I've learned from one of the mentor, I mean, the lesson I got is, I like his idea. I like the way he thinks. I don't like the way he leads. So it showed me what I don't want to be. Too much prescriptive. Too much. You need to do this. But is that a change? I don't know. But I think I've been quite
Steady.
Thank you.
Regular.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how would you describe your leadership style today?
In French, we say management collégial. I mean, you all work together, and you let your team not take decisions, but bring ideas, and then you and then you bring everyone all together. But I've alluded to that earlier on, so it's always come back to the same idea.
Perfect. Now, do you believe anyone can be a leader, / do you believe anyone can be a good leader?
When I looked at the younger myself, I don't think I was built at that time to become some kind of a leader, and so I can relate to the idea that not everyone can become a leader. If it would be the case, I mean, we would be surrounded by them. I think leadership can be taught, can be learned, can be not at 100%, but I think people can be helped to become better leaders. But can everybody become a leader? With the right coaching, probably, and with the right environment.
Okay, perfect. Now, could you define success in a context of leadership? Do you think a great leader should be judged more in regards to the teams they manage or to the people they are accountable to?
I don't think it has to do with people you're accountable to. Leadership is about what you and your team are able to accomplish, or no, I should say, are able to set targets, to set goals, and to take the steps or the right decisions to get there. So that's to me is leadership. So it has more to do, I believe, to your own team than the one that you report to, I would say. Makes sense?
Perfect. Yes, absolutely. And in your opinion, what differentiates a good leader today from what a good leader was when you started your career?
So a lot of things have changed over time, and I'm not saying that because I'm getting older, but so when I started, clearly it was not the same. So I would say today there is just more openness, open minds, back to the notion of listening and empathy. That is, I feel, more present than it was earlier on. There is so much more around the theme of talent, and I mean human resources. This is so much more present, and this is, I think, so important because we're all dealing with humans, and even more so for a business like this one, who's all about providing services. So there is no. We don't build anything. There is no plant. There is no. It's all about our staff delivering the right services to our clients. So we have to invest into how they feel with the business, how they can grow up and be better at what they do.
Perfect. And last question of this segment before the ending. What's the best piece of advice you've ever received? And would you give the same piece of advice to your 20-year-old young self?
Shoot. I should have kept what I told you 10 minutes ago for the end.
The 2 years and 10 and 1 mouth. That works.
I believe. Let me think for a sec.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all get plenty of good advices. I mean, I would not say all the time, but I don't know what, that one stick with me, and I use it a lot with some people. Just, you're not listening enough. Just remember the math, 2, 1. And yeah, that was a key one.
Perfect. So now we'll get to the ending of this interview. What do you have left to accomplish?
You know what? I'll tell you the same thing I told people last fall when I was announcing my retirement. I love the idea of not having anything on the plate and not having objectives and not having anything not that I've done everything and that, but just to relax and to just be happy with the path and with what has been accomplished. So what is left to be accomplished is more around myself. It's not about professional. It's more about human. It's more about family. It's more about other important stuff in life. But professional-wise, yeah, maybe projects or ideas that will come, and I will say, yes, that's something I've not done that maybe I'd like to have some fun with. Yeah.
Excellent. More bonus questions for the end. If you could have a private meeting with someone, anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
Now, I had a very good business meeting, off-site meeting last week, and we did the business case called Shackleton. Sir Ernest Shackleton is how you say that? He was in the business of discovery back in the days in 1930, I guess. So his mission was to discover Antarctica and to go through. I don't know. I'm telling you I'm throwing the name there because when you read the business case, Harvard Business School, and you just want to have dinner with the guy. He's such a great entrepreneur / leadership. He had so many challenges. Everything happened bad thing happened to his journey. How he was dealing with his teams, how he was dealing with every day. There was an impossible challenge to accomplish, and he was there, as we say, pivoting and taking decisions on the spot, and that led him. I don't know if we can say his mission was successful, but so to answer your question, Sir Ernest Shackleton, go read his case. It's a great business case about leadership.
Excellent. Now, a few personal favorites that we would like to ask. Who is your favorite entrepreneur?
Oh. Gosh. I was about to say, of course, Elon Musk. But as soon as I say the name, I'm like, there are so many things I like and that I don't like. But if you really think about entrepreneurial spirit, I mean, that guy is all about it. Leading the charge on so many fields. I mean, huge thing, big, bold targets. Yeah, I don't think you can talk about leadership and entrepreneur if you don't think about Elon Musk. And maybe it was too easy, but
that's fine as well. What's your favorite book / movie?
I don't know. What I'm reading right now. I have a bad memory of what I used to read and what I like the most. But there are stories and things that gets me on the spot. Right now, I'm reading books from Michel Jean. Few people may know. It's all about Quebec, Innu people, and all of their stories. And it may sound weird when I say that like this, but this is really captivating. It's very interesting. Yeah, what other books? I don't know. I'm more interested in the next one than the last one.
Interesting.
I don't know yet. It will be what it will be.
What's your favorite quote? If there's one to.
Oh no. There is. Oh yeah, this one I like it so much. Again, coming from a few weeks ago. And yeah, we were talking about leadership, and it says something like, you don't climb the mountain for the world to see you. You climb a mountain for you to see the world. And we were discussing why are we doing this? And yeah, we will show them where we are, for what we stand. And no, you get there to be able to look around, be happy, be very proud, learn from all what brought you there. And I'm not talking like about me being on the mountain. That's not it at all. But I just felt it's an interesting way of putting it. Why you do it? And it's not centered around people looking at you. It's you looking at what you've accomplished.
Very beautiful. This leads to my last question. What can we wish you for the future?
You know what? I simply feel I had yeah, I'll say it. I feel I got lucky in life in various ways. I'm very proud with where it has led me lately. So I only wish it continues, but instead of being very centered on professional life, it will be truly centered on my personal life. I mean, I think I had a good balance, but I think now and for the next 20 years, I don't know. Yeah, more around the human thing around life than professional.
Perfect. Well, this wraps it up. Alain, thank you so very much for being with us again. This was Alain Desormiers for Business Minds.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
On va le refaire.